Right, welcome back. The Municipal Demarcation Board is dealing with the revised ward delimitation process, and that's why it's encouraging the public to submit written proposals on how they think their ward should be configured. The deadline for submissions is the end of this month. The board says the process is critical ahead of the 2021 local government elections. For more, now we're joined by Thabo Man-yoni, the chairperson of the Municipal Demarcation Board. Mr. Man-yoni, thank you very much indeed for your time.
Thanks very much. Good morning and morning to your viewers.
So let's break down some of these terms that can sometimes fly over our heads. We're talking about ward delimitation. For those of us who have no clue what this is, break it down for us in terms of the relation to the upcoming local government elections.
Actually, let me start by saying ward delimitation processes are a building block towards your free and fair elections. Basically, we are using the voting districts, that is now the IEC processes, where they are looking into voting districts, polling stations. We use those we are amalgamating them in forming the wards so that people can have easy access to their voting stations as part of your free and fair elections.
Right.
I'm just putting it simply as that. But obviously, there are reasons that are compelling us to go through this type of processes. When the number of councillors is going to change, and also obviously the number of your potential voters always changing, increasing all the time. So those are compelling factors for us to start delimiting the wards in making sure that each and every ward is having a sort of an equitable number of potential voters in the country.
Right. So talk to us about your discussions with the Independent Electoral Commission. What has been agreed to in order for the IEC to prepare for the 2021 local government elections?
We used in the past to hand over those wards I'm talking about, referring to the IEC, for the IEC to start mapping out the voting stations, the voting districts, and so forth. But with the COVID-19 pandemic coming into the fore, into play, we then also have to revisit our timeframes. Normally, we used to hand over those wards to the IEC 10 months before elections, right, so that they can also start with their IEC processes.
So you'll be handing over the final wards in November this year?
We will be handing over the final wards in November.
You know, you spoke about COVID-19. I mean, we're in the midst of a pandemic. Talk to us about how it's affected your current work, and do you envisage it affecting the 2021 local government elections?
To tell the truth, I can safely say we still are within the time frame. We are still within the time frame. We will finish our processes by the end of November. We will hand over to the IEC to start with their work. But the way we've been working in our country as part of a democratic processes, we've been consulting with communities to ensure that at least they understand these processes. Unfortunately, with this pandemic, there were provinces which we could not reach in terms of having community consultations in the traditional sense of bringing people under one roof, either a tent or what, and talk to them about these processes. In this regard, we are now encouraging communities, obviously, to make written submissions. We are also encouraging stakeholders, municipalities, to have visual meetings. But coming back to what you were asking, we are still within the time frame. As long as we make sure that by the end of November, we hand over to the IEC.
What happens if we're still dealing with a high number of cases in December? What happens then?
Of course, by that time, we would have handed over the wards to the IEC. It will be the IEC then that will have to determine the processes post, let's say post end of November. The IEC will evaluate the space. They will then be able to give advice either to cabinet or to the president. But as far as we are concerned with the IEC, we are working as if elections will take place within the constitutional framework and the terms that are given by the constitution of the country.
So I want to talk process. The wards are configured every 5 years in metropolitan and local municipalities for electoral purposes, as you mentioned, due to the changes in the number of registered voters within municipalities and the changes in the number of councillors for a particular municipality. But what goes into configuring these wards? Talk to us about the process.
Of course, it's a technical process. First, the intention is to have in each and every ward an equitable number of potential voters. So you basically are looking into the number of voters in the previous elections, in this case, obviously, our past national elections, and then you divide that number with the number of your wards. It gives you then an average of the number of people who are supposed to belong to a particular ward. So we use that to build up ultimately a ward in making sure that you don't have a ward that will have million people and one ward is having, let's say, 50 or 50,000 people.
Right.
So you have an average to make sure that at least the IEC then would then be able to have those voting stations that would basically be manageable. That's the intention. Right. So we are using those averages, those numbers, to build those wards.
So the deadline for the submission of written proposals on how wards should be configured is next week, Friday. Have you managed to assess the proposals that have come in so far?
Yes, we have. Let me say, even for those provinces where we had public consultations before, your Northern Cape, Western Cape, KwaZulu-Natal, Mpumalanga, already we have looked into all their submissions. And presently, of course, we are receiving presentations from Limpopo, Free State, Northwest, parts of Gauteng. Yes, we will be dealing with those submissions. And in terms of our program, in August, the board will basically be looking into all the submissions that have come in, given the time frame that the deadline for the submissions is the 31st of July. Right. In September, then, we will publish the outcome for people to come in with objections, recommendations, and so forth, as per the determination of the Act.
So with regards to ward delimitation and public consultation information, give us the details with regards to the submission forms, etc., where people can find them.
Yes, people can go to our website and they can also submit forms to the email registry@demarcation.org.za, or they can fax, if people are still using faxes, to 012-3422-480, or they can even send their submissions through WhatsApp. The WhatsApp number is 072-819-8220. Or, of course, online submissions forms are available on our website, where basically they can fill up those forms and submit them, as I indicated.
All right. For those who missed those details, we'll probably post this interview on our YouTube channel. They can go there and check it out with regards to submitting your proposals. Thabo Man-yoni, Chairperson of the Municipal Demarcation Board, we thank you very much indeed, sir. Be well.
We wish every South African free and fair elections and we hope that at least we will survive this pandemic. Thanks very much.
Thank you, sir.